Hey everyone, Mama Kangaskhan here, and please do not mind what's going on in the background right now. My son is watching Sheriff Callie, and uh, he seems to like it a lot. It's not quite as good as Pokemon, but it does teach him a lot of good lessons, which I enjoy. Alright, so to get caught up on October videos, which I will have a couple of Pokemon Generation reviews for the last 10 episodes that they did, or the last 11 episodes, but I'm putting 9 and 10 together since they were brought out together. I'm going to be doing the top 10 Pokemon based off of myths. So here we go. Number 10, Doduo. While this story isn't creepy, it does teach the children of East India why they should share their things with their siblings. So on Halloween, all of you little trick-or-treaters need to go out, get your candy, and come home and share with your siblings. Otherwise, you might end up as the mythological bird Bahurunda, or the two-headed bird. Once there was a bird that had 2 heads that lived near a lake and was very happy. One day the first head found a delicious fruit and began eating it. He went on and on about how amazing it tasted. The second head, hearing his brother go on and on and on, asked if he could have a bite of the fruit. But the first head only laughed. "It doesn't matter which of us eats it," said the first head, "because we share a stomach. It would end up in the same place no matter which one of us actually eats it." With that, he finished off the fruit. The second head was upset that the first head wouldn't share the fruit with him, and wouldn't talk or look at his brother as he waited for a day to pay him back. Soon after, the second head found another fruit, but didn't know that this one was poisonous. He looked at his brother and gave him an angry smile. "Now I have some delicious fruit," said the second head, "and I won't let you have any, since you had your own delicious fruit." The first head became scared and begged the second head to not eat the fruit, that it would hurt both of them since they shared a stomach. The second head ignored his brother and quickly ate the fruit. As soon as the fruit hit their shared stomach, the birds suffered greatly before dying. Yes, it's a sad story, but it does show that whenever you don't share something with your siblings, they often retaliate in a way that neither one of you expects, and the outcome is far worse than what it could have been if you had have shared. So you wouldn't have gotten as much candy on Halloween. Well, it's better than having one of your siblings say, "Well, here I have a whole bag of candy and I'm going to eat it all." And then they get sick and something happens to them. Better to share now than to regret it later. Number 9, Houndoom and Mega Houndoom. Houndoom does resemble a dog, but most notably a hellhound. These creatures are said to guard the entrance of hell, and their howls warn of a death in the household. Some are malevolent and will drag anyone who sees them to the pits of hell. However, there are some that are benevolent, and they warn people of trouble and protect certain people who are innocent of grave sins. While Mega Houndoom resembles the ancient ritual of wearing ceremonial animal bones from ancient societies, it could also be based off of the devil because of its tail and horns, solidifying it as an animal of hell. Now, I'm going to go back to Houndoom because there's an example in the anime of it being benevolent or nice. Whenever Togepi gets separated from Misty in the Johto arc, we see how Houndoom can be really nice, which is how a lot of dogs are of the breed that it's based off of. And I think that that was a really great episode, showing that things that may look scary can actually be really nice. It's like a J.K. Rowling story of how she came up with Hagrid in the Harry Potter series. She was sitting down at a bar in a restaurant, and this big scary biker comes up and just starts talking about his petunias. Like, it was so out of the blue and misplaced with the look of the man, but he was just this kind and gentle teddy bear. That is what I think of whenever I think of Houndoom. And even Mega Houndoom. I do not see how it's an animal out of this pits of hell myself, but that's just me. I'm kind of drawn towards the darker types. Alright, number 8, Absol. According to a Chinese legend, the Yellow Emperor Huangdi was on patrol near the East Sea when he encountered Bai Zi, a magnificent beast with a flowing white mane, huge horns, and several eyes, usually around 9. The monster taught the emperor about the secrets of the supernatural world and how to defeat thousands of types of supernatural beings. This myth carried over to Japan, and its name changed from Baizi to Kutabe, which appeared before a village to successfully warn them of a coming plague. The Kutabe prescribed that its own image be used as a talisman to ward off the disease, and since then, the Hakutaku has been worshipped as a guardian spirit of herbal medicine. So the Kutabe warns of disaster, it does not create them, which is very similar to Absol. Plus its look with the horns, the white fur, and the eye, which in the picture of Bai Z has 3 eyes, 9 coming from Japan, uh, it looks a lot like Absol. So you can see the connection there, which is really great. Number 7, Superior and Heliolisk. This is uh, a shared section because both these animals are based off of the basilisk, or the king of snakes. The basilisk is said to be able to petrify or even kill anyone who looks in its eyes, which is similar to what Superior does if you look at its Pokédex entry. However, Heliolisk is based off of a more realistic basilisk that you can actually go out into the jungles and see. This itty-bitty lizard does cause a great shock to anyone who sees it because it stands up on its hind legs and runs across the top of the water. So the name of this creature, or the nickname I should say, is the Jesus lizard for what it does by running over water. Number 6, Cacturn. Cacturn is based off of a scarecrow, obviously, and a cactus mixed with it. But there's actually a creature called the Booback, which is a creature of the dark that is somewhat resemblant of an evil scarecrow. And it follows people around, much like Cacturn, and devours them whenever they are so exhausted that they can't fight back. So it is a very Cacturn-like creature. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Number 5. Riolu, Lucario, and Mega Lucario. Another grouped section. Riolu, Lucario, and Mega Lucario are all based off of Anubis, the Egyptian god of death, who gave up his throne for Osiris. But Anubis also introduced mummification. Osiris became the king of the underworld, and Anubis began weighing the hearts of the dead as they came to enter the realm of the underworld. That being said, sometimes Anubis just threw the hearts away and made the souls go and look for them. I believe that's how it went. But there were times where Anubis actually ate the hearts of the unworthy that wanted to enter paradise, leaving them to wander the realm of the damned or sometimes even limbo. What a great creature. Don't you just love Lucario even more now? Number 4, Yamask and Cofagrigus. Another grouping. These Pokemon are actually based off of the undead creature that is based off of the human remains that were stuffed with spices and wrapped tightly and bandages before burial. You know, the ones that Anubis, or Lucario, introduced to the human race. Yay, Lucario! However, the undead creatures had curses put on them, supposedly, and because they were most often wealthy whenever they were alive, and these curses were made to not only protect the body, but also the riches that were entombed with them. However, there were cases where criminals were actually cursed in the afterlife. So not only were they did they suffer in life because they probably had hard times and were desperate, but they were also caught and made to suffer in death as well. If the criminals were to wake up for any reason, such as grave robbers or scientists, these creatures, much like the movie The Mummy, would awaken, use those that open their tomb to regenerate, only for these people to give them a second death. So, not only did they live a horrible life of sin and possibly poverty, why can't I speak? They also die twice. A feat many of us do not ever want to repeat. We never want to repeat this. Okay. Number 3, Mawile. Of course, this one is probably self-explanatory, and you've heard this one several times from several other PokeTubers. But it's based off of Futakushi Onna, or the Two-Mouthed Woman of Japan. The story goes that there was a farmer who held tightly to his money. He was overjoyed when he married a wife that didn't eat hardly anything, which saved him a great deal of money. He could see the great masses of wealth that he would have around him because his wife didn't eat a thing but lived to be relatively healthy. Which is strange, don't you think? That should have been a tip-off right there. However, as the weeks went by, he started to notice that his food supply was getting low. In fact, it was getting dangerously low, like they might not even survive the coming year. Well, one night he was awoken to a strange sound. He looked over at his wife and found that she had a second mouth on the back of her head, and the hairs were just like hands reaching to feed the second mouth massive amounts of food, and eventually made him extremely poor, like poorer than whenever they first married. Like, it was really bad. This is a kind of a relationship you never want to find yourself in. Of course, now we call them gold diggers, but you know, whatever. They want money, they want food, same thing, right? Number 2, Rotom and Gower. Again, it is a grouping. There are a lot of creatures based off of the same thing, done over and over and over again. Like any ghost type, they are based off of, well, ghosts of some sort, in some way, shape, or form. However, these two are specifically based off of a poltergeist. That's German for noisy ghost, if you haven't noticed. It's a type of spirit or supernatural entity that is responsible for physical disturbances such as loud noises and objects moving or being destroyed. They're capable of pinching, biting, hitting, and tripping people. Most accounts of a poltergeist actually describe movement of or levitation of objects, such as furniture and cold cutlery, and noises such as knocking on doors or walls. Sometimes they can even move an entire room around whenever you're not in it. Like, impossible things can be done by these ghosts. Traditionally, though, these ghosts are tied to a person rather than a place. So you won't find a poltergeist like tied to, say, a house. It'll be tied to a person house, specifically an adolescent child. A teenager, a child are usually the targets. Every now and then it'll be an adult, but it's not as known of a case as it is with children. And some of the more violent poltergeists have known to cause scratches and even fires within the home. And number 1 of our Halloween list of myths, Zooark and Lycanroc. Yes, it's another pairing, but Zooark is only included in this because of how it looks. And, of course, it resembles a werewolf. It looks like a typical werewolf, the hair being the tail of the wolf in this case. And because of its dark coloring, you're instantly wary of it in the dark. So, naturally, you think werewolf. However, Lycanroc is definitely a werewolf. Its name is basically from a werewolf. Oh, sorry. Lycan is another word for werewolf. What? Alright. Obviously, anyone who's seen Lycanroc has probably looked that up. But, here's the thing. Lycanroc's 2 different forms show 2 different types of werewolves. The mid-name form is actually the voluntary werewolf, meaning that this is a person who willingly turns into the form of a wolf, whether it be on the full moon or any other time, usually at night, obviously. But they keep their mind intact. They know right from wrong. Their reasoning is sound for why they do this, usually for protecting people, unless you're Michael J. Fox. However, the midnight form of Lycanroc is known as the involuntary werewolf. These are the people who the next day will wake up in the middle of a forest, and if somebody's sitting next to them, they'll look up at him and go, "I didn't kill anybody, did I?" Like, it's that typical horror movie werewolf. They have no memory of it. They go on a rampage, usually murdering poultry, and sometimes going after women and children. But it's always on a full moon. The full moon drives them crazy. Which is why in Pokemon Sun, you get the midday form, the well-rounded reasoning werewolf, and in Moon, you get the midnight form, the crazy wanting to rip your throat out kind. So, yeah, that's our list for today. I'm hoping I can get all these done up soon because this is crazy. I will say, if you are following me on Pokemino, I do have a poll up on what this month's March, I should say, viewers' choice should be. You can vote on there. I will not be putting it on YouTube at this time since I have so many things I have to work on and so many videos I have to work on to get caught up. So, there is that, and it's going to be a lot of work. I'm going to try to do at least 1 video a day to catch up, so that's almost a month's worth of work. Plus, I have to be able to make videos during that time. And I already have videos set up to start. They are card openings, because March is the month of card openings for me. Yay! But this time it is more to catch me up, which is amazing that even before I knew that this is what would be happening, I planned for it. So by the time the middle of April comes around, I should have all of these videos up, and I can do some real videos in between the card openings. It's a big whole ordeal, and I'm trying my best. I'm going from October to February. That is 5 months of videos that I could not do, you guys. So please be patient with me. I will try to keep you updated on things, and that's all I can say for this video. I will see you all next time. I know this one was really, really long, but next time it won't be as long, but it will be long. So I will see you all next time. Bye!